Yeah, Wolfman Jeff here, coming at you with a Red Wolves report, a live report after our first match, finally, of the 2020 season. We went to Statesboro, Georgia, and we got so close. It's at the end of the match. It was a little frustrating, a little upset, but I had to pull back, and I realized that there's so many things to be encouraged with, but at the same time, we really should have won that game. Both teams, I think, played rather similarly. Both teams were a little too loosey-goosey on the back line. Things were not as tight as they maybe could have been. Mostly the keepers were good. There was some issues with both that was fatal for both. But most of the attention for both sides was on the attack, pushing attack. And so going to the positive, that is something that was a frustration for Red Wolves fans last year, was the lack of focus on pushing the ball. And it just seemed to be so plodding and so slow, and they almost kind of viewed holding the ball as being something of a victory. And so Coach Obleda was very upfront that possession doesn't mean a thing, and that's not what the game's about. You cannot win a game if you do not score. And he didn't guarantee we were always going to score, but we were always going to push and try to score. So that happened. The formation, I actually thought it was going to be that 4-3-3, and I had some different players expected, but he did do that formation. I do generally like what I'm seeing on for a wing back, but I had expected different players. I did expect Ricketts to be on the right side. Ricketts, I think, was a bright spot today, and I was always encouraged. I got a chance to watch him play a little bit, so I knew what we were gonna see. But if you weren't already Jonathan Ricketts fan, he was there. He was Johnny on the spot. He was everywhere. He's so tall, but he is so fast. I had expected on the opposite side Uche to be there, and Uche wasn't even on the roster, so I hope he's not injured. Instead was Ricky Ruiz, and he was fine, but not to that same. I kind of wonder if Uche was on the other side, we see something different. I don't know. That's something to work on. I thought Leo was going to be in the back to be kind of a leader of the defense. Generally speaking, I don't have too many complaints on our defenders there, except that sometimes we would lose our shape. We would lose our form. And so that's something I know that Coach is going to be working on. But they were very good on getting the ball back in rotation. Last year, anytime we got the ball in the back, they'd kick it back to Mangles and then let Mangles rotate it back out. You didn't see that this time because there was a push on just getting it back and moving in, and that really helped us on the counter. Surprised Walefe didn't start, especially usually where he does on the defensive midfield. Soto started as captain on that position, and usually we're used to seeing Soto on an advanced position, so that was interesting. I did expect Ami Pineda to be our general, which he was. I didn't expect Rowe to start as the other attacking midfielder because I thought Beattie was going to start for that. Rowe was very aggressive, but he also needed some more control, very passionate. So it would be very interesting to see what would have happened if Beattie would have been there. Again, Beattie wasn't even on the roster, so he's another one. I really hope he hasn't hurt himself in the preseason because he just brings so much scrap, so much fight. I'm hoping that Beattie's going to be in for this next weekend. But pleased with what I saw with Rowe, but I kind of wonder if Rowe came in later on at this point, if he could bring more of a spark. Up front, they are the three I picked. I knew that Hurst was going to be up front, and I also really expected for Ricardo Zacharias to be there because those two guys are always pushing, and Markey as a winger, and that happened. They had really good performances. Still some finishing to work on with both of those guys. Hurst, I think, for the Red Wolves was man of the match. He had a brace. and but really pleased with what I saw for the others there. Coming off the bench, Connor Doyle, I think, did good on the midfield, replacing Rowe. Walefi came in actually in a more forward position, so I assumed that Soto was going to move up when Walefi came in, but that's fine. All in all, I was disappointed in the result because we had it right there. First 7 minutes of the game, Tormenta scored, and that was like, oh, we're in one of those. But after that, it started to change, and Tormenta kind of lost its steam. Through the rest of the match, it started to slow down. Then once Hurst got his first goal in, we felt like, okay, we've got this. Then Hurst got his second goal, and that was the way he just slapped that last one in. He had one was a header, and then one just kicked it right in with a lot of authority. Both Hurst goals were fantastic. Really expected that Ricardo was going to score, and some others. I know Rowe was really pushing to score, and but in overage, in stoppage time, Tormenta came back with that last goal, and this was the one where my wife made her displeasure rather vocal to what was Alex doing. And Alex, who we are so used to being just right there, he was not on the wrong side, didn't get up, and the other players, it felt to us like they froze, and they just, so it kicked the ball, hit the post, it looked safe, but none of the Red Wolves ran into the box to stop it, and he just rolled in. They didn't have to kick it hard in, it just rolled in there as everyone just kind of stopped and watched, and that was really frustrating. It was frustrating because we had the win, and it was frustrating that it just seemed so stoppable. So onward and upward. Next week we are facing Tucson. I hope to be there. I hope my wife can be there as well. If you can come out, that would be great. If you do not feel it's safe for you to go out, you will not be judged. That's fine. Please follow on ESPN Plus, and hopefully someone else will be able to do the watch party. If you're a member of the pack, go ahead and look at some of the social media stuff, and a link will go on there. We can have our little online watch party. So, hey, this has been Wolfman Jeff talking to you with a Red Wolf.